Billy always listens to his mother. He always does what she says. If his mother says, "Brush your teeth," Billy brushes his teeth. If his mother says, "Go to bed," Billy goes to bed. Billy is a very good boy. A good boy listens to his mother. His mother doesn't have to ask him again. She asks him to do something one time, and she doesn't ask again. Billy is a good boy. He does what his mother asks the first time. She doesn't have to ask again. She tells Billy, "You are my best child." Of course Billy is her best child. Billy is her only child. Nancy wants to live a long time. She wants to live for 100 years. She is 5 years old now. She wants to live 95 more years. Then she will be 100. Her father is 30 years old. He wants to live a long time too. He wants to live for 100 years. He wants to live for 70 more years. "Daddy, we will grow old together, okay?" Nancy said to her father. "Yes, honey, we will grow old together," he said to Nancy. Then Nancy smiled. She gave her daddy a big hug. Bobby woke up because he heard a dog. He heard a dog barking outside his window. Bobby woke up when he heard the dog barking. Bobby got out of bed. He got out of bed and walked to the window. He looked out the window. He saw a big brown dog. It was barking very loud. Bobby opened his window. He looked at the barking dog. "Why are you barking so loud?" he asked the dog. The dog looked at Bobby. Then it stopped barking. David lost his yellow pencil. He could not find it. "Where is my yellow pencil?" he asked his sister. His sister did not know. "I don't know where your pencil is," she said. David thought about it. He thought and thought. He used his yellow pencil before lunch. He used it to write a note to his teacher. The note said, "Dear teacher, thank you for helping me, David." He put the note in an envelope. Where was the envelope? He looked in the kitchen. He looked on the kitchen counter. He found the envelope. It was next to the toaster. He found the pencil. It was under the toaster. "Can I ride my horse, Mommy?" Sarah asked her mom. Sarah loved to ride her horse. She rode her horse almost every Saturday. "Okay, honey, get ready to go," her mom said. Sarah was happy. She went into her bedroom. She put her pink socks on. She put her pink sneakers on. She grabbed her pink hat. She went to the front door. "I'm going to wait in the car," she told her mom. "Okay, I'll be there in a minute," her mom said. Sarah opened the car door. She sat down in the front seat. She put on her hat. She was excited. Brian sat down for dinner. He sat down in the chair. He sat down at the table. He looked at his white plate. He looked at his silver fork. He looked at his silver spoon. His dad said, "Pass me your plate, Brian." His dad put white rice on the plate. His dad put yellow corn on the plate. His dad put green peas on the plate. He gave the plate back to Brian. "This looks delicious," Brian said. "It is delicious," his dad said. Brian wondered why corn was yellow. He wondered why peas were green. He wondered if there were yellow peas and green corn. Brenda sang a song. She sang the song while she walked to school. The name of the song was "Row, Row, Row Your Boat." Brenda liked to sing this song. It was her favorite song to sing. She sang it every day while she walked to school. Sometimes she sang it with her best friend. Sometimes her best friend walked to school with Brenda. Then they both sang the song together. Brenda liked the song because it was easy to remember the words. Row, row, row your boat are easy words to remember. Johnny jumped over the dog. The dog was lying on the ground. Johnny jumped over it. The dog saw Johnny jump over it. The dog got up. The dog got up and barked at Johnny. Johnny laughed. He laughed while the dog barked. Johnny ran over to the fence. The dog chased him to the fence. Johnny jumped over the fence. He turned around and looked at the dog. The dog stopped at the fence. The dog could not jump over the fence. Johnny said, "Jump, jump." The dog barked, but did not jump. Mary ate a blueberry. She loved blueberries. Then she ate a blackberry. She loved blackberries. Then she ate a strawberry. She loved strawberries. Mary was confused. A blueberry is blue, so you call it a blueberry. A blackberry is black, so you call it a blackberry. A strawberry is red, so why don't you call it a red berry? Mary asked her mom. Her mom didn't know. She asked her dad. Her dad didn't know. She asked her little brother. Because a red berry is a cherry, her brother said. James took the milk out of the refrigerator. He put the carton of milk on the counter. He took the cap off the carton of milk. He opened the kitchen cabinet. He took a glass out of the cabinet. He put the glass on the counter next to the milk. He poured some milk into the glass. He put the cap back on the carton of milk. He put the milk back into the refrigerator. He took the chocolate syrup out of the refrigerator. He poured some chocolate syrup into the glass of milk. He stirred the milk with a spoon. He licked the spoon. Patricia did not have much time. It was time to go to work. She did not want to be late for work. She would lose her job if she was late. She finished her coffee. She drank the last drop. She put the coffee cup in the kitchen sink. She turned on the kitchen faucet. She poured water into the cup. She turned off the faucet. She picked up her keys. The keys were on the kitchen table. She grabbed her gray coat. Her gray coat was on the chair. The chair was next to the door. She walked outside. She locked her door with her house key. Mike was ready for bed. It was 11 o'clock. He had to get up early the next day. The next day he was going fishing. Fish wake up early. They look for food early in the day. They look for food late in the day. The best time to fish is early or late in the day. That is when the fish are hungry. Mike set his alarm. He set his alarm for 5 o'clock. The next day he would start fishing at 6 o'clock. He wanted to catch 4 or 5 fish. If he caught 4 or 5 fish, he could eat fresh fish all week. Fresh fish is the best fish. Mike went to bed. Linda wants to buy a new car. She has an old car. Her old car is a white Honda. Linda wants to buy a new Honda. She wants to buy a new red Honda. She has saved $1,000. She will use $1,000 to help buy the new car. She will give $1,000 to the Honda dealer. The Honda dealer will give her a contract to sign. The contract will require her to pay $400 a month for 7 years. Her new red Honda will cost Linda a lot of money. But that's okay because Linda makes a lot of money. Richard is a light eater. He doesn't eat much. He isn't a heavy eater. He eats a light breakfast, a light lunch, and a light dinner. Richard is not fat. He is thin. He will always be thin because he is a light eater. He eats a bowl of cereal for breakfast. He eats a bowl of cereal with milk. He eats a sandwich for lunch. Sometimes it's a fish sandwich. He likes fish. He eats rice and vegetables for dinner. All he eats for dinner is rice and vegetables. He will never get fat. Barbara likes funny stories. She likes to hear funny stories. She likes to tell funny stories. She told her mom a funny story. When she finished, she waited for her mom to laugh. "Mom, why aren't you laughing? That was a funny story," Barbara said. "Oh, I'm sorry," her mom said. "Sometimes you think something is funny, but someone else thinks it isn't funny." So Barbara's mom did not laugh at Barbara's story. Barbara told the same story to her younger sister. Her younger sister laughed at the story. Charles found a glass bottle. He found the glass bottle in his backyard. It was a pretty glass bottle. It was dark green. He looked inside the dark green bottle. He couldn't see anything. He shook the bottle. Something came out of the bottle. It landed on the ground. It was a bug. Charles picked up the bug. He looked at it. The bug looked at Charles. Charles put the bottle back on the ground. He put the bug on the ground next to the bottle. The bug crawled back into the bottle. Elizabeth washes her hands every day. She likes to wash her hands. She washes her hands with soap and water. She uses soap and water to wash her hands. She uses warm water and soap. She washes her hands for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, she stops washing her hands. She turns off the water. She dries her hands on a clean towel. Every few hours, she turns on the water and washes her hands. Elizabeth has very clean hands. She does not have many germs on her hands. Germs cannot live on her clean hands. Joseph never opens the front door. When someone knocks on the front door, Joseph says, "Who is it?" But he does not open the door. His parents told him to keep the door closed. His parents want him to be safe. He will be safe if he doesn't open the door. Yesterday someone knocked on the front door. "Who is it?" Joseph asked. "It's the mailman," the person said. "I cannot open the door," Joseph said. "Okay, I will come back tomorrow," the mailman said. "Goodbye," Joseph said. Joseph is a good boy. He listens to his parents. He doesn't open the door for any person. Jennifer pulled the trash can out to the street. She pulled the trash can out to the street on Monday morning. Monday was trash day. The trash truck came to her house. The truck had a metal arm. The metal arm picked up the trash can. It raised the trash can into the sky. It emptied the trash can into the truck. Then the arm put the can back on the street. On Monday afternoon, Jennifer walked out to the street. The trash can was empty. She pulled the trash can back into her yard. Next Monday, she would pull it out to the street again. Thomas was not hot. He was not warm either. He was cold. The weather was not hot. The weather was not warm either. The weather was cold. Thomas did not like to be cold. He looked for his jacket. He found his jacket. He put on his jacket. But he was still cold. He looked at the windows. Were all the windows closed? Yes, they were. They were all closed. None of the windows were all closed. None of the windows were open. He looked at the door. The door wasn't open. It was closed. For a warmer jacket. He looked for a warmer jacket. Maria was learning to add numbers. She liked to add numbers. It was easy to add numbers. She could add 1 and 1. She knew that 1 and 1 are 2. She knew that 2 and 2 are 4. She knew that 3 and 3 are 6. But that was it. She didn't know what 4 and 4 are. She asked her mom. Her mom told her that 4 and 4 are 8. "Oh, now I know," Maria said. "I am 4 years old now. In 4 more years I will be 8. Maria was a fast learner. She wasn't a slow learner. Christopher wrote a letter to his sister. His sister lived in another city. His sister did not have a computer. Neither did he. His sister didn't like to use the phone. Neither did he. He wrote his sister a long letter. He told her the news in his life. He told her that he had a new job. He told her that he had a new girlfriend. He told her that he had a new car. He had lots of news for his sister. She would be happy to read his letter. Then she would send him a letter. Her letter would have lots of news too. Margaret was a small girl. She was a little girl. All her friends were taller than her. She was shorter than all her friends. She wanted to be tall. Her mom told her not to worry. One day Margaret would be tall. One day she would be taller than her friends. One day all her friends would be shorter than her. She was happy to hear that. She only had one question for her mom. When would she be taller than her friends? Would it be next year? She hoped it would be next year. She was tired of being the shortest girl. Daniel wanted to visit a farm. He asked his parents to take him to a farm. His teacher told him about the animals on a farm. There are lots of animals on a farm. Daniel wanted to see the animals. He wanted to see the cows. He wanted to see the chickens. He wanted to see the pigs. He wanted to pet the animals. He wanted to feed the animals. He loved animals. He wanted to live on a farm. He wanted to live with the animals. He wanted to live with cows and chickens and pigs. They would be his friends. He didn't have any friends in school. Dorothy will be 10 years old next month. She is excited. 10 years old is very old. She will not be a little kid anymore. A 9-year-old kid is just a little kid. A 10-year-old kid is almost an adult. 9 is only one number, but 10 is 2 numbers. 9 is a little kid number, but 10 is an adult number. When she is 10, she will be an adult almost. She will be a young woman. She will wear lipstick. She will wear nail polish. She will have a boyfriend. He will be handsome and polite. He will open doors for her. He will buy her birthday presents. Dorothy can't wait until next month. Paul has a red bicycle. He loves his red bicycle. He got the red bicycle for his 9th birthday. His parents gave him his bike when he was 9. He takes care of his bike. He puts air in both tires. He puts air in the front tire. He puts air in the rear tire. He puts oil on the bike chain. He wipes dirt off the bike with a damp rag. He puts water on the rag and wipes all the dirt away. He rides his bike everywhere. He rides it to school. He rides it to the library. He rides it to his friend's house. He really loves his bike. Lisa loves to go shopping. Tomorrow she is going shopping. She needs a new pair of shoes. She wants to buy a pair of red shoes. She thinks red shoes are pretty. She will buy a pair of shoes at the mall. Lisa usually shops at the mall. The mall is only a mile from her house. She just walks to the mall. It only takes her 20 minutes. Tomorrow she will go to 4 different shoe stores. Tomorrow is Saturday. The mall always has sales on Saturday. If the sale price is good, Lisa might buy 2 pairs of shoes. Mark bought a new car last week. He is happy with his new car. He got a good deal on his new car. It was on sale. His new car is green. The 4 tires are black. His new car has 4 doors. It has 1 trunk. The spare tire is in the trunk. All new cars have a spare tire. His new car has 1 hood. The engine is under the hood. All new cars have an engine. His new car has 2 big seats. 1 seat is in the front. 1 seat is in the back. Mark sits in the front seat when he drives his new car. He always buckles his seat belt. Karen is on the swim team. She is on the swim team at school. She is a good swimmer. All the swimmers on the swim team are good swimmers. She swims every day. She goes to the pool after her last class. Her last class is her English class. After English class, she walks over to the pool. She changes into her swimsuit. She dives into the water. She swims for 2 hours. Her coach watches her swim. He gives her advice. He tells her how to swim better. Her coach is her swim instructor. He is a good instructor. She will win a race one day. Donald plays the piano. He loves the piano. He has a big piano in his living room. His piano is shiny and black. It has 3 legs. He sits on a bench to play the piano. The bench has 4 legs. His piano has 88 keys. The keys are black and white. Donald has 10 fingers. His 10 fingers play music on the 88 piano keys. The piano also has 3 pedals. Donald uses his 2 feet on the 3 pedals. He uses both of his hands and both of his feet to play the piano. He also uses both of his eyes to play the piano. Betty's doctor told her to exercise more. So she began running. She enjoys running. She runs almost every day. She runs 2 miles a day. On the weekend she runs 5 miles. She runs up hills. She runs down hills. She runs in the street and on the sidewalk. She runs on trails. She runs in the heat and the cold. She runs on sunny days and rainy days. Betty will run in the marathon next week. Next week will be her first marathon. A marathon is 26 miles. She will run for 3 hours without stopping. She won't try to win the marathon. She will try to finish it. George is going to make a salad. He is going to make a simple salad. It will be a simple salad, but it will also be delicious. His salad will have only 2 ingredients. One ingredient is fresh cucumber. A cucumber is dark green and long. George will peel the skin off the cucumber. He will throw the skin in the trash. He won't eat the skin. He will slice the cucumber into little pieces. Each piece will be about the size of a nickel. He will put all the pieces into a big bowl. Then he will pour salad dressing on the pieces in the big bowl. That's it, a cucumber and salad dressing. Helen is unhappy with her mother. Her mother is unhappy with Helen. They are both unhappy with each other. Helen has a boyfriend. His name is Peter. Her mother doesn't like Peter. Her mother said that Peter is rude. Why did she say that? Because Peter didn't take his hat off in the house. Helen's mother says that is rude. A man should take his hat off in the house. Your father always took his hat off in the house, Helen's mother said. But Mom, times are different now, Helen said. I promise you, Peter will take his hat off next time. Helen's mother said it was too late. Rude is rude. Kenneth cleaned his apartment. He emptied the trash. He washed the dirty dishes. He looked in his bathroom. The sink and bathtub were dirty. He scrubbed the sink and bathtub. He looked in his bedroom. Clothes were on the floor. He picked up the clothes. He put the shirts on hangers. He folded the pants. He put the pants in the dresser. He washed the dirty clothes. He looked in his living room. Papers were on the floor. Books and newspapers and magazines were on the floor. He picked them all up. He put them on the bookshelves. Then he vacuumed his whole apartment. Sandra wrote a check to her gas company. On one line she wrote May 17th, 2009. On the next line she wrote the gas company. On another line she wrote $35.66. On another line she wrote 35 66/100. On another line she wrote monthly gas bill. On another line she signed her name. Then she put the check into an envelope. She also put the gas bill into the envelope. She licked the envelope and sealed it. She put her return address on the front of the envelope. She put a 44-cent stamp on the front of the envelope. She put the envelope in the mailbox. Stephen was hungry. What could he eat? He looked in the refrigerator. He saw some orange cheese. He saw some yellow butter. He knew what he would eat. He would eat a melted cheese sandwich. He took the cheese and butter out of the refrigerator. He buttered 2 slices of bread. He sliced the cheese and put it between the 2 buttered slices. He heated the frying pan. He put the cheese sandwich into the frying pan. After 3 minutes, he flipped the sandwich over. After 3 more minutes, he put the melted cheese sandwich on a plate. Donna loved her husband. Her husband loved Donna. They were in love with each other. She wanted to give him a birthday present. He was going to be 40 years old next week. She wondered what to give him. Should she give him a watch? Should she give him a sweater? Should she give him a new guitar? What should she give him? She asked him what he wanted for his birthday. He said he didn't want anything for his birthday. "Oh, you must want something," she said. "You're right," he said. "I want your love forever." It was time for bed. Edward was very tired. He turned off the TV. He turned off his computer. He turned off the dining room light. He went into the bathroom. He brushed his teeth. He went into the bedroom. He put on his pajamas. He got into bed. He put his head on the pillow. He pulled the blanket up to his shoulders. He thought about all the work he had done that day. He thought about all the work he had to do the next day. He closed his eyes. He thought about his vacation in 3 months. That would be so nice. Carol felt tired. She felt tired all the time. She didn't used to feel tired. She used to have a lot of energy. Why was she so tired all the time? "You should eat more sugar," her friend told her. "Sugar will give you energy." But Carol didn't want to eat more sugar. More sugar would give her more weight. She didn't want to put on weight. She wanted to have energy again. She finally decided to see a doctor. Her doctor told her that she had a thyroid problem. "What is a thyroid?" she asked her doctor. "It can make you feel very tired, but don't worry, I can fix it," he told her. Brian has a fast car. He drives his car fast. He never gets a ticket. His car is too fast for the police. They chase him, but they can't catch him. Brian always escapes from the police. The police want to catch him, but their cars are too slow. Brian's car is very fast. He likes to drive over 100 miles per hour. When he sees the police, he waves to the police. The police turn on their sirens. They turn on their red lights. They chase after Brian. Brian speeds up. He passes all the other cars on the road. He escapes from the police. Ruth is pregnant. She is expecting a baby. The baby is due in 2 months. The baby is a boy. It is her first boy. She already has a little girl. Her little girl is 2 years old. Ruth loves her little girl. Her little girl is happy to get a baby brother. Ruth is eating for 2 people right now. She is very careful about what she eats and drinks. She eats a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. She eats fresh fish twice a week. She doesn't drink alcohol or coffee. She doesn't eat candy or potato chips. She stays away from cigarette smokers. She will have a healthy baby. When does Ronald eat breakfast? He eats breakfast in the morning. What does he eat for breakfast? He eats ham and eggs. What does he drink for breakfast? He drinks coffee. Where does he eat breakfast? He eats breakfast at home. Who makes breakfast for Ronald? His wife makes breakfast for him. Why does Ronald eat breakfast? Because food gives him energy. What does he do after he eats breakfast? He brushes his teeth. What does he do after he brushes his teeth? He goes to work. Which bus does he take to work? He takes the city bus to work. Sharon jumped into the water at the swimming pool. She held her nose. She went under the water. Then she came back up. She swam to the ladder in the pool. She climbed out of the pool. She stood at the edge of the pool. She held her nose. She jumped in again. Sharon liked to jump into the pool. The water felt good. It was a hot day. The water was cool. The water felt so good. Sharon's mother had brought her to the pool. Her mother was sitting in a chair. She was watching Sharon. She wanted Sharon to have fun. Anthony went to the bookstore. He wanted to buy a book. He wanted to buy a book about bugs. He liked bugs. He picked up bugs in his yard. He took them to school. He showed the bugs to his teacher. His teacher told him the name of each bug. Then Anthony took the bugs home. He showed them to his parents. His mom told him to take the bugs out of the house. His dad liked to see the bugs. He said Anthony did a good job. He gave Anthony money to buy a book. So Anthony took the money to the bookstore. He looked for a book with lots of pictures of bugs. Michelle felt the earthquake. It lasted for only 5 seconds. The whole house shook. She heard noise. The TV went off. The lights went off. She was scared. She had never felt an earthquake. It was very strong. It was as if a giant hand had shaken her house. The lights came back on. Michelle turned the TV on. The TV had no news about the earthquake. She turned on the radio. The radio said it was a 4.7 earthquake. But there was no damage. No one was hurt. Everyone was okay. No houses had damage. Everything was okay. But Michelle was still scared. She wanted to move far away. She did not like earthquakes. They were so scary. Kevin wanted to lose weight. He was getting fat. His stomach was getting bigger. He was gaining weight. He was gaining 1 pound every week. He had to buy new pants. He didn't fit into his old pants. He couldn't see his feet anymore. When he looked down, all he could see was his big fat belly. He wanted his belly to disappear. How could he do that? How could he lose weight? What could he do? He talked to his wife. She told him to stop eating candy. She told him to stop eating cake. She told him to walk up and down the big hill every day. Kimberly was not happy. She was sad. She needed a job. She asked everyone for a job. Everyone told her no. No one had a job for her. She came home every day and cried. How could she live without a job? She had only $1,000. After she spent the $1,000, she would have no money. Then what would she do? She had nowhere to go. She had no friends. She had no family. She was all alone. She was very worried. She looked in the newspaper every day. She was ready to take any job. If someone gave her a job, she would be so happy. Jason looked at his watch. It was time for his favorite TV show. He turned on the TV. He sat down in his chair. But then he heard his dog. His dog was scratching at the door. Oh no, Jason thought. The dog wanted to go out. The dog had to go to the bathroom. If he lived in a house, he could let the dog go out the door and into the yard. But he lived in an apartment. He didn't have a yard. He had to take the dog for a walk. But if he took the dog for a walk, he would miss his favorite TV show. The dog scratched at the door again. Jason turned off the TV. Laura looked out the window. A storm was coming. The sky was getting darker. The wind was starting to blow. Some trees were bending. Leaves were flying through the air. It was getting cold. She closed all the windows. She went outside. Her car was in the street. She closed the windows in her car. She locked her car. She went back into her house. She turned on the TV. She wanted to see the news about the storm. The TV person said it was a big storm. He said it would rain a lot. He told people to stay home. Jeff sat down. He was in class. He was at school. He was in English class. He liked his English class. He liked his teacher. His teacher was friendly. His teacher helped all the students. His teacher answered everyone's questions. Jeff asked a new question every day. Yesterday he asked his teacher a spelling question. He asked his teacher how to spell myself. His teacher told him how to spell it. Jeff thanked his teacher. His teacher said, "You're welcome. Ask me anything, anytime. That's what I'm here for, to help you." Deborah was angry at her son. Her son didn't listen to her. Her son was 16 years old. Her son thought he knew everything. Her son yelled at Deborah. He told her he didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to listen to her. He didn't have to go to school. He didn't have to do his homework. He didn't have to study. He was 16. He could do anything he wanted to do. What could Deborah do? She wasn't married. She was divorced. She could not control her son. He would listen to his father, but his father was not there. His father lived in another city. Paula has cancer. She has 6 months to live. Her doctors cannot help her. No one can help her. She smoked cigarettes for 30 years. She did not want to stop smoking cigarettes. She liked to smoke cigarettes. The doctors told her to stop smoking many years ago. She didn't listen to them. She didn't listen to her parents. She didn't listen to her children. She didn't listen to her friends. Everyone told her to stop smoking. She told everyone to stop worrying about her. She would be fine, she told them. She still smokes every day. Why not? She asks. Randy went to the bank. He needed money from the bank. The bank has all of Randy's money. The bank keeps Randy's money safe. Randy cannot keep his money at home. Someone might steal his money. He can't hide his money in his backyard. A dog might find his money and eat it. He can't hide his money in a tree. A bird might fly away with his money. Some people hide their money under their bed. Some people hide their money in their refrigerator. But that is not safe. Someone will look under the bed or in the refrigerator. The best place for people to keep money is in the bank. Jackie loves the news. She listens to the news on the radio. She watches the news on TV. She reads the news in the newspaper. She reads the news in magazines. She loves the news because it is always new. It is always fresh. It is always interesting. There is news every day. There is news in every country. There is news in every state. There is news in every city. Everyone all over the world talks about the news every day. But Jackie has a question about the news. Why is the news usually bad? Why isn't the news usually good? No one knows the answer. Larry has the flu. His nose is running. He coughs a lot. He sneezes a lot. When he coughs, he covers his mouth. When he sneezes, he covers his mouth. When his nose is running, he wipes his nose with a tissue. Larry's mother is taking care of him. She makes hot soup for him. She gives him fresh orange juice. She makes him comfortable in his bed. She turns on the TV so he can watch TV in his bed. She turns out the light so he can sleep in his bed. She gives him medicine so he will get better. Larry will get better soon. Patty got a doll for Christmas. It is her favorite doll. It is a rag doll. It has a yellow dress. It has a blue blouse. The name of the doll is Molly. Molly has bright red hair. She has red lips. She has blue eyes. She has a pink ribbon in her hair. Molly is wearing red shoes. She's wearing white socks. Molly has a purse. Her purse is pink. The purse is empty. There is nothing in the purse. There was a little mirror in the purse, but Patty lost the mirror. When she lost the mirror, she said, "I'm sorry, Molly. I will get you another mirror." Danny looked at his brown shoes. They looked old and dirty. They needed a shine. It was time to shine his brown shoes. He got a rag. He got a shoe brush. He got a can of polish. He opened the can of polish. He put the rag around his finger. He scooped out a bit of polish with his finger. He rubbed the polish all over the left shoe. He brushed the left shoe. He brushed it and brushed it. The shoe began to shine. It looked like a new shoe. Then Danny put polish on the right shoe. He brushed the right shoe until it looked like a new shoe. Peggy went to church every Sunday. She loved to go to church. At church she was with her family and friends. At church she was with the saints. She was with the angels. And most of all, Peggy was with God. She always talked to God in church. She always asked God to stop war. She asked God to stop hate. She asked God to stop sickness. But war and hate and sickness did not stop. There were war and hate and sickness every day. "Mommy, Why doesn't God stop war and hate and sickness? Peggy asked. God will, her mom said, when more people ask. Dora wanted to buy a card for her mother. Her mother's birthday was next week. Dora loved her mom. She wanted to get a nice birthday card. She wanted a card that was pretty. She wanted a card that said the right thing. What was the right thing? The card must say, "I love you, Mom." It must say, "Mom, you are the best mother in the world." It must say, "I'm so happy that you are my mom." Those are all the right things for the card to say. But there was one more thing the card must say. It must say, "Happy birthday." Frank is not an old man. He is only 61 years old. But he is dying. He is in the home for old people. Nobody visits him. His wife doesn't visit him. She is already dead. She died 6 months ago. She died in the street. She was crossing the street. A car ran over her. Frank loves his wife. He got sick after she died. He never got better. The doctor says that nothing is wrong with Frank's body. The doctor says that Frank wants to die. The doctor is right. Frank does not want to live without his wife. Lois has a headache. The headache started 1 hour ago. She doesn't know why she has a headache. She never gets headaches. She never gets sick. Lois is a healthy woman. Where did her headache come from? Was it something she ate? Was it something she drank? She doesn't know. She wants her headache to go away. She does not like to take medicine, but her head hurts so much. She went into her bathroom. She opened the medicine cabinet. She found some aspirin. She took 2 aspirin with a glass of water. Maybe the aspirin will help her headache go away. Jerry has no job anymore. He has a little money, but he does not have enough money for rent. He cannot pay his rent. He has to move out of his apartment. He will move out next week. He will move into his car. He will put all his clothes into his car. He will put his pillows and blankets into his car. He will sleep in his car. He will look for another job. After next week, he will not be able to take a shower. He will have to use a public bathroom. He won't be able to drive his car. He won't have money for gas. Jerry needs help. Kathy finished her sandwich. She had a chicken sandwich for lunch. She got up from her chair. She took her plate to the kitchen sink. She put the plate in the sink. She turned on the cold water faucet. She rinsed the plate. She picked up a paper towel. She wiped the plate dry. She put the plate on the counter. Her mother walked into the room. "Did you wash that plate with soap?" she asked Kathy. Kathy said no. "I couldn't find the soap," she said. Her mom said, "What's this right next to the cold water faucet?" Kathy said, "Soap." Her mom told her to wash the plate again. Bruce picked up the cat. The cat meowed. The cat didn't like most people. The cat liked to be alone. It liked to sleep on the sofa. It liked to sleep in the fruit bowl. It liked to sleep on top of the TV. It liked to chase bugs in the front yard. It liked to chase lizards in the backyard. It liked to chase flies in the kitchen. Bruce put the cat on the floor. He rubbed the cat's stomach. The cat liked that. The cat licked his hand. Bruce rubbed the cat's stomach some more. The cat meowed. The cat was happy. Sharon was 5 years old. Her best friend was Pam. They played games together. They played all kinds of games. They had fun together. But one day Pam pushed Sharon. "Why did you push me?" Sharon asked. "Because," Pam said. Sharon told Pam not to push her again. So Pam pushed Sharon again. Sharon pushed Pam back. Then Pam pulled Sharon's hair. Then Sharon pulled Pam's hair. Both of them started crying. Sharon's mom came into the room. She told Pam to go home. Pam ran out of the house. "Sharon, you can't play with Pam any more," Sharon's mother said. Andrew got down on his hands and knees. He put a dry sponge into the bucket. The bucket was full of soapy water. He squeezed the sponge. He scrubbed the kitchen floor. There were marks on the floor. There were spots on the floor. There was old food on the floor. He scrubbed the floor clean. Then he took the bucket into the bathroom. He poured the soapy water into the tub. The water went down the drain. He turned on the shower. He rinsed the tub. He turned the bucket over so it would dry. He washed his hands. Sally had a cold. Her nose was red. She pulled a tissue out of the tissue box. She blew her nose. She threw the tissue into the trash. She looked at her fingernails. Her fingernails were too long. She needed to cut her nails. She opened her purse. She took her nail clippers out of the purse. She clipped all the nails on her left hand. Then she clipped all the nails on her right hand. She looked at both of her hands. Now her nails were nice and short. She put her nail clipper back in her purse. She pulled another tissue out of the box. She blew her nose again. Andrew was in the 3rd grade. He loved his teacher. His teacher was young. She was pretty. She was friendly. She helped Andrew add numbers. She helped Andrew draw dogs and cats. She helped Andrew learn to spell. Andrew gave his teacher an apple one day. He gave her an orange another day. He gave her a peach another day. His teacher thanked him. "Thank you for the apple," she said the first day. "Thank you for the orange," she said the second day. "Thank you for the peach," she said the third day. Each day Andrew said, "You're very welcome." A farmer owns a lot of land. He grows food on that land. He grows the food from seeds. He plants seeds into the land. The seeds grow into corn. The seeds grow into wheat. The seeds need water. The seeds need sunlight. A farmer owns a tractor. He drives the tractor on his land. A farmer has many animals. He has pigs. He has cows. He has sheep. He has chickens. He has dogs and cats. He has rabbits. When it rains, the farmer goes into his house. The animals go into the barn. A farmer works hard. His animals don't work hard. They just eat and sleep. Jimmy dropped a piece of paper on the floor. He bent over and picked it up. He folded the piece of paper in two. He put it on the table. He picked up a pencil. He wrote a phone number on the piece of paper. He put the pencil on the table. He picked up the scissors. He picked up the piece of paper. He cut the paper in half. He put one half of the paper on the table. He put the other half with the phone number in his shirt pocket. He put the scissors on the table. Norma went to bed. It was 11 o'clock. She turned out the light. She lay in bed. It was dark. It was quiet. She couldn't sleep. She closed her eyes. She tried to sleep, but she couldn't. She turned the light back on. She opened her book. She started to read her book. It was a good book. She read one page. Then she read another page. After a while, she felt sleepy. She closed the book. She turned out the light. She closed her eyes. She went straight to sleep. Herman didn't like his first name. He had never liked it. He wanted to change it. He asked his mother. She said it was too late to change his name. She said he could use his middle name. She would call him by his middle name. She asked him if that was okay. Herman said yes. From now on, he said, please call me by my middle name. From now on, please call me Adam. His mother said that was no problem. Goodbye, Herman, she said, and hello, Adam. When Adam's father came home from work, Adam's mom said, "Guess what? We have a new son." Alice told her son Jesse to go to his room. He didn't want to go to his room. "Why do I have to go to my room?" he said. "You were a bad boy," she said. "You hit your sister." He said, "No, I didn't. She hit me first." Alice said, "But you shouldn't hit your sister even if she hits you first. She is younger than you are, and she's a little girl. Boys should never hit little girls." Jesse said, "Okay, I won't ever hit little girls again. Now do I have to go to my room?" Alice said yes, he still had to go to his room. "When she's a big girl, I'm going to hit her again," he said. Rodney's uncle is in jail. He went to jail because he was drunk. He was driving his car. He was going the wrong way on a one-way street. He almost hit 3 other cars. Someone called 911. A police car chased Rodney. The police car turned on its red light. The red light was bright. The police car turned on its siren. The siren was loud. Rodney did not pull over. He did not stop his car. Finally, he went off the road. He ran into a tree. He got out of his car. He was okay. His car was not okay. The policeman said, "You are drunk. I'm taking you to jail." Lucy went to the doctor. She didn't feel good. The doctor asked, "What's the problem? What's the matter?" She said she didn't feel right. "Do you hurt? Where do you hurt?" the doctor asked. She said that she hurt all over. She hurt everywhere. She hurt all over her body. The doctor said, "You have a big problem. I will fix your problem." The doctor gave Lucy a shot. He gave her a shot in her left arm. "Do you feel better now?" he asked. "No," she said. "Now my left arm hurts a lot." Brent was at the stoplight. His car radio was on. The music was very loud. Brent liked to listen to loud music in his car. A police car pulled up next to Brent. The policeman looked at Brent. He shouted, "Pull over to the side of the road." Brent said, "What?" The policeman said, "Pull over to the side of the road." Brent pulled over to the side of the road. The policeman said, "Do you know why I am giving you a ticket?" Brent said, "You are giving me a ticket? Why are you giving me a ticket?" The policeman said, "Because your radio is too loud." Emma went to the market. She needed to buy food. She needed brown eggs. She opened a carton of brown eggs. She looked at the eggs. None of them were cracked. None of them were broken. all the eggs were okay. She closed the carton. She put the carton of eggs in her shopping cart. She needed red apples. She looked at a bag of red apples. She looked for dark spots on the apples. She looked for wormholes in the apples. She didn't see any dark spots or wormholes. She put the bag of apples in her shopping cart. Jenna was at the airport. She was waiting for her plane. Her plane would leave at 7 p.m. It was only 2 p.m. She had time to eat. She had time to study. She went to the airport restaurant. The restaurant was on the 3rd floor. The restaurant was full. There were no empty seats. There were no empty tables. She didn't want to stand in line. She didn't want to wait. There was another restaurant in the airport. It was on the 1st floor. She went down to the 1st floor. That restaurant was almost empty. There were many seats and many tables. Fred had a red rubber ball. He kicked the ball. It flew through the air. He picked it up. He threw it against a wall. The ball came back to Fred. He kicked it with his foot again. The ball flew over the wall. He picked it up again. He bounced it on the street. The ball bounced up and down. Then it stopped bouncing up and down. It didn't move. Fred's dog barked at the ball. Fred kicked the ball. His dog ran after the ball. Lois got a new book. The book was about animals. Lois loved animals. The book had lots of pictures. It had pictures of dogs and cats. It had pictures of cows and pigs. It had pictures of chickens and rabbits. It had pictures of squirrels and birds. Lois looked at the pictures on the first page. Then he turned the page. He looked at the pictures on the second page. Then he turned the page again. The book had 30 pages in it. Lois looked at all the pictures on all the pages. Lulu's mom gave Lulu a pencil. It was a yellow pencil. It was a number 2 pencil. It had a pink eraser. The eraser was small and round and pink. Lulu's mom gave Lulu a piece of paper. It was a white piece of paper. There were blue lines on the white paper. Lulu wrote a letter to her grandma. Her letter said, "Dear Grandma, hello, I love you." Lulu told her mom she was done. Her mom looked at the letter. "This is a short letter," her mom said. Lulu said, "Yes, Mom, it is a short letter. It is short but sweet." William looked at his bowl of soup. It was chicken soup. There was white rice in the soup. William liked rice. There were pieces of chicken in the soup. William loved chicken. The pieces of chicken were white. They were small and square. They weren't big and round. There were pieces of orange carrots in the soup. William didn't like carrots. He picked up a piece of carrot with his fingers. He put it on the table next to his bowl. He took all the pieces of carrots out of the bowl. He put them all on the table. Then he ate his soup. Tracy looked at the flag. The flag is red, white, and blue. It has 50 white stars. The white stars are on a blue square. The flag has 6 white stripes. It has 7 red stripes. All the stripes are horizontal. They are not vertical. The stripes do not go up and down. They go from left to right. Tracy loves her flag. It is the flag of her country. It is a pretty flag. No other flag has 50 stars. No other flag has 13 stripes. Greg took the pen out of his pants pocket. He took his keys out of his pants pocket. He took his cell phone out of his pants pocket. He took his wallet out of his pants pocket. He put everything into a plastic tray. He took his shoes off. Greg was at the airport. He had to get on the airplane. But he had to pass through security first. He passed through security. He put his pen and keys back into his pocket. He put his cell phone and wallet back into his pocket. He put his shoes back on his feet. He got on the airplane. The baby birds sat in the nest. There were 2 baby birds. They were in the nest. The nest was in the tree. The baby birds were waiting for Mama Bird. They were hungry. When would Mama Bird be back? Then they saw Mama Bird. She landed on the nest. She had 2 worms in her mouth. She gave 1 worm to each baby bird. The worms were delicious. The baby birds ate the worms very fast. Then they opened their mouths. They wanted another worm. Mama Bird flew away. She went to get more worms. Susan likes to eat apples. She likes to eat big red apples. She likes to wear a blue hat. She wears a big blue hat on her head. She wears a hat and eats an apple. She drinks some water from a white cup. Susan drinks water and eats apples. She doesn't cut the apple with a knife. A knife is sharp. She just eats the apple. She holds the apple in her hand. She bites into the apple with her teeth. She licks her lips. She drinks more water. She wipes her mouth with her hand. Faye went into the bathroom. She turned on the cold water. She turned on the hot water. Warm water came out of the faucet. She put her hands under the warm water. She rubbed her hands together. She picked up a bar of white soap. She rubbed the soap with her hands. She put the soap back. She washed her hands for half a minute. Then she rinsed her hands with the water. She turned off the hot water. She turned off the cold water. She dried her hands with a towel. Sandra picked up the bag of peanuts. It was a bag of roasted peanuts. She opened the bag. She poured out some roasted peanuts onto the table. There were about 8 peanuts on the table. The peanuts were still in their shells. Each peanut was in its shell. Sandra picked up a peanut. She held it in her hands. She put her thumbs on the peanut. She broke the shell open with her thumbs. Sandra opened the shell. Inside the shell were 2 little red peanuts. Each peanut had red skin on it. Thin red skin covered both little peanuts. She took a little red peanut out of the shell. Sandra ate the little peanut with the red skin on it. Jim had 2 separate sheets of paper. He wanted to put the 2 sheets of paper together. He did not want to glue them together. He did not want to use glue. He did not want to staple them together. He did not want to use a staple. What did Jim want to use? He wanted to use a paper clip. He wanted to put the 2 sheets of paper together with a paper clip. He picked up a paper clip. It was a metal paper clip. It was a silver paper clip. Jim put the silver metal paper clip on both sheets of paper. Now the sheets of paper were together. They were not separate. Pat looked at the washer. The washer had dials on it. It had 2 dials on it. There were words next to each dial. Each dial had 3 words next to it. The words next to one dial were small, medium, and large. This dial was for the size of the load. Did Pat have a small load, a medium load, or a large load? The words next to the other dial were cold, warm, and hot. Did Pat want to wash her clothes in cold water? To wash her clothes in cold water, warm water, or hot water? Pat turned one dial to large and the other dial to hot. Then she start button on the washer. Bob pushed the button on the door handle. He pulled on the door handle. He opened the car door. He got into the car. He sat down. He sat down in the driver's seat. He sat down behind the steering wheel. Bob put the seat belt on. He buckled the seat belt. The seat belt went across his chest. The seat belt went across his lap. The seat belt kept him safe. He put his car key into the ignition. The ignition was next to the steering wheel. The ignition starts a car. Bob turned the car key in the ignition. The car started. Helen turned on her flashlight. Nothing happened. The light did not come on. There was no light. What was wrong with her flashlight? She unscrewed the top of the plastic flashlight. Helen took the 2 batteries out of the plastic tube. She looked at the 2 batteries. They were D batteries. They looked okay. They did not look bad. But maybe they were dead batteries. She opened a package of new batteries. She put 2 new D batteries into the plastic tube. Helen screwed the top back onto the plastic flashlight. She turned on her flashlight. The light worked. Liz looked at the round plastic container. The plastic container was empty. There was no milk in the container. Liz wanted to drink some milk, but she was out of milk. She needed to make more milk. She opened the cabinet. She grabbed a box of powdered milk. She opened the box. She took the lid off the round plastic container. Liz poured some powder into the container. She filled up the container with cold water. She put the lid back on the container. Liz shook the container hard. She shook it and shook it. She poured some cold milk into a glass. She drank the cold milk in the glass. Mike washed his hands. He washed his hands with soap and water. He brushed his teeth. He brushed his teeth with toothpaste and water. He turned off the water. The sink was full of water. The water did not go down the drain. The water stayed in the sink. What was the matter? Why didn't the water go down the drain? Mike waited and waited. The water didn't go anywhere. It sat in the sink. Mike opened a bottle of liquid drain opener. He poured the drain opener into the sink. Mike waited 1 minute. Then all the water went down the drain. Bill stole a wheelchair. The wheelchair did not belong to him. It belonged to someone else. The wheelchair belonged to Jenny. Jenny could not walk very far. She got tired very fast. It was her wheelchair. Jenny was inside her house. Her wheelchair was on the front porch. Bill saw the wheelchair on the front porch. He looked around. Nobody was around. He walked up to the front porch. Bill grabbed the wheelchair. He pushed it in front of him. He pushed the wheelchair to his home. Bill pushed the wheelchair into his home. "Look, Grandma," he said, "I brought you a new wheelchair." Margaret made a fresh salad. She peeled a yellow banana. She peeled a red apple. She peeled a green cucumber. She peeled an orange carrot. She peeled a brown potato. She peeled a white onion. She peeled a white egg. She chopped everything up with a sharp knife. She chopped everything into little pieces. She used her sharp knife to chop up the banana, apple, cucumber, carrot, potato, onion, and egg. She chopped up a tomato. She put all the little pieces into a bowl. She opened a bottle of salad dressing. She poured salad dressing on her fresh salad. Don has cancer. He is 12 years old, but he is lucky. The doctor knows how to fix Don's cancer. The doctor told Don's mom to bring him to the hospital. Don's mom said no. She will let God fix Don's cancer. God will fix Don's cancer. She does not trust the doctor. She doesn't trust the hospital. She only trusts God. The doctor said Don will die. He said Don must come to the hospital. Don's mom ran away. She ran away with Don. The police are looking for Don and his mom. They want to save Don's life. Only the doctor can save Don's life. Maria is 18. She will go to college in September. She will be a college student in September. But right now it is summertime. It is June. Maria needs a job. She needs money for college. She needs money to buy books for college. She wants a job. Maria went to a restaurant. "Can I have a job?" she asked. The restaurant manager said, "I'm sorry, I don't need anyone right now." Maria went to a bookstore. "Will you give me a job?" she asked. The bookstore manager said, "I'm sorry, I don't need new workers right now." Tom was bored. He didn't have anything to do. He wasn't interested in doing anything. He didn't want to watch TV. Tom didn't want to listen to the radio. He didn't want to play sports. He didn't want to use the computer. He didn't want to read books. "I'm bored," Tom said. "What can I do? I want to do something interesting." Tom's father had an idea. "I have an idea," his father said. "Why don't you collect coins? Coins are fun to collect, and coins are everywhere. You see coins every day. Some coins are valuable. They will make you rich." Ed looked at the kitchen floor. The kitchen floor was dirty. There were little pieces of food on the floor. Ed saw breadcrumbs. He saw cracker crumbs. He saw cheese crumbs. He saw little pieces of bread. He saw little pieces of cracker. He saw little pieces of cheese. He needed to sweep the floor. Ed didn't want bugs in his kitchen. Bugs like to eat little pieces of food. He took the broom out of the kitchen closet. He took the dustpan out of the kitchen closet. Ed swept the floor. He swept all the pieces of food into the dustpan.